Another day, another Derby profile. Today's episode is going to be on Wild on Ice. Let's go. First things first, we got the stats. 5 starts, 3 firsts, 0 seconds, and 1 third, and earnings of $405,400. That's not too shabby on paper. When it comes to his major races, well, we got one. And that is the Sunland Park Derby, a race he won at odds of 35 to 1, and then he had to pay the late Triple Crown nomination fee because, well, let's be honest, no one really expected him to be in the Kentucky Derby field. Not even his owners, apparently. But you know what? That's why I love him so much. Highest speed figure is a 77, which is the lowest it's ever going to go in this series. This is the rock bottom. 77 is the lowest speed figure from a Kentucky Derby contender this year. For running style, it's pretty plain and simple. He is generally a stalker type, either being right on the pace or right behind it, and then he just tries his best to wear down whoever's on the front end. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but he doesn't have the greatest turn of foot. He's more of a grinder, wearing it down bit by bit and fighting gamely to the end. And now it's time for the strengths, which is exciting to say the least. For one, and this is actually a genuine one, the fact that he did win the Sunland Derby racing on the pace when it was super fast. The opening fractions were in 45 and something. That's pretty fast, so the fact that he was right behind those leaders and still was able to hang on and win is actually pretty credible, and also shows his fighting grit. Also, he once walked past Secretariat's gravesite, so that means that he has beaten Secretariat, so take that. For weaknesses, well, there's a lot of them. The fact that he has not raced outside of New Mexico isn't exactly a great sign. A Texas bred has not won the Kentucky Derby since 1950. The competition he's ran against has been rather lackluster, and he has been defeated by this competition pretty destructively in races like the Riley Allison Derby and the Mind That Bird Derby. He's the slowest Kentucky Derby horse speed figure-wise. And if we are going to pull the whole Kentucky Derby upsets, anything can happen card, most of the biggest Kentucky Derby upsets happen due to pace meltdowns, and this field doesn't really seem to have the speedsters to do that. Also, Wild on Ice is not a deep closer like Mind That Bird, Giacomo, and Rich Strike, three of the most famous Kentucky Derby long shots. So this sort of strategy and archetype doesn't really fit him. He's just a horse who is kind of slow. Overall, I would say that Wild on Ice was a horse who was never really meant to be in the Kentucky Derby, but he managed to anyway thanks to horse racing luck, and now he's in this position where he looks almost improbable as a victor. So for all of that, I give Wild on Ice an A+ grade. He's going to win the Kentucky Derby by 12 lengths.